Hello everyone. It's been long since you saw me on the channel. I've been quite busy, a lot of things, work, everything, so I haven't been posting a lot. I haven't had time to record videos actually. Uh, so today I decided to do a video on one of the two infrastructure projects that are happening in Kenya or just about to happen. The first project is the Nairobi-Nakuru highway. The second project is the Mombasa Nairobi highway. They are actually the same project if you look at it, just different phases of the same project. So the road I'm talking about is the A8. Initially it used to be A104 from Mombasa to Nairobi and A109 from Nairobi to Malaba. But it was the corridor was renamed. There was a renaming of highways in Kenya. So the whole stretch from Mombasa to Malaba is now the A8. And the initial plan by the government was to dual the whole section from Mombasa to Malaba. That was what the government has been planning for years right now. But because of a lack of funding, and so they had to do it in sections. There have been debates on which section should be given priority. Sometimes the section from Mombasa to Nairobi has been this close to being dual, then things went downside. Again, other times the section from Nairobi to the section from Nairobi to Malaba, they're actually considering dualing Nairobi to Mau Summit first, because that is the section that is normally most heavy on traffic. That is the section that has the heaviest traffic. So they want to start dualing Nairobi to Mau Summit, then later they will do Mau Summit to Eldoret, then Eldoret to Malaba. But there have been debates on which section is more important, which section should be considered first. The section from Mombasa to Nairobi, of course, connects Kenya's capital city and largest city to our port city of Mombasa, which is also the second largest city, and people feel that gives it more importance. But again, that section passes through a lowly populated area. Most of the vehicles moving on that section are between Nairobi and Mombasa. In between, there is very little traffic. The population density in that area is sparsely populated because the area is mostly dry. So it can't really sustain very high populations like the area from Nairobi towards the Ugandan border. And so that has been the argument. But again, that road also carries a lot of heavy traffic. Most of the traffic, if you've ever driven on that road, I had a video I recorded on that road. I don't know if I have it, let me check. If you've ever driven on that road, you realize that most of the traffic are trailers or prime movers, like people call them, which are carrying goods from Mombasa to Nairobi and going back to Mombasa or Nairobi to Mombasa for export. So like 70% of the traffic is heavy trucks. Now we have the section from Nairobi to Mau Summit. That section passes through a very highly populated area and also connects Kenya's two population nodes. I normally say Kenya has two population nodes, the central region and the western region. That is where most of Kenya's population exists. The northern section of Kenya is very sparsely populated, almost nobody lives there. The coastal side is also very sparsely populated, but the central area is very highly populated. The western region is also very highly populated. So that road connects the central region to the western region, and it also passes through the Rift Valley, which is also considerably highly populated. So that section also has a lot of trucks, heavy trucks that are ferrying goods from Mombasa to the western region, Uganda, South Sudan, Rwanda, and DRC. But most of the traffic on that section is passenger traffic, normally public vehicles and personal vehicles. That's the kind of traffic that makes the majority of the traffic on that road. Overall, the traffic on that section is higher than the traffic from than the traffic from Nairobi to Mombasa, but it has less heavy traffic than the section from Nairobi to Mombasa. So in today's video, I want to discuss about the importance of the two roads. Then I let the viewers decide which road is more important and which road should be given priority. So I start with road 109, which is the road between Nairobi and Malaba. The road connects, like I had said, it passes through the most densely populated regions in Kenya. It has a lot of traffic, especially during holidays. The road normally comes to a standstill during holidays, December holidays, when people are going back home to their villages to see their folks from Nairobi and Mombasa and other areas. The road literally comes to a standstill. You can see the video. Every year it happens. And there's a lot of accidents because people are struggling to pass, and of course it comes with all its challenges. So the road, when you look at it, it really needs an expansion. That road is literally congested, very congested. So if you've ever used that road, or if you use it regularly, you will understand that that road needs dueling as soon as possible. Now let's go back to Mombasa. The Mombasa road, which is the road between Nairobi and Mombasa, the city of Mombasa. Under normal circumstances, is normally passable. You find traffic jams here and there, but it has a lot of trailers. And when a trailer causes an accident on Mombasa road, it causes a lot of snarl-ups. And there are also a number of steep hills. Especially the one at Salama is the most famous. It's called Q. The Kambas call it Kimakiu, something like that. Kimakiu. I am told it means that mountain or that hill. It was famous for It was famous for highwaymen. They used to wait until we have trailers at that point. When the trailers were really going slow, then they would come and steal stuff from the trailers. But I think it was solved. They put a climbing line there, and it was they put some policemen there at least to take care of the travelers. So nowadays it's safe, but most of it is smooth. There are some areas that you literally drive very fast, especially areas where there are no hills and steep hills. Where there are no steep hills, there is no problem. So in my view, the road between Nairobi and Mau Summit is more congested than the road between Mombasa and Nairobi. But on the other side, if we talk about the importance of the two roads, people have different views. Some people feel the road between Nairobi and Mombasa is more important because it connects Nairobi to the port city, the Kenya's major port city, and the biggest port city in the region. The biggest port in the region, I mean, not the biggest port city. The biggest port in the region. So there are arguments that that road needs dwelling earlier. It's more important than the road between Nairobi through Nakuru to Mau Summit. But again, that depends on every individual opinion. I can't speak for you. Maybe if you have something to say about that, you can post it in the comments. Now, I'm just going to give a summary of the works, of the history of dwelling the two highways, the history of the plans and what is happening and where we are currently. So I'll start with the Nairobi-Mau Summit road, which is currently, I think they should have begun because I saw a falling weight deflectometer on the road. So I think it was supposed to begin in June anyway, but there have been delays. But I saw someone post a falling weight deflectometer on the internet. So I think the construction of that road is beginning. So we can comfortably say the government has decided to begin with the Nairobi-Mau Summit highway before the Mombasa-Nairobi highway. Though the plans to expand the Mombasa-Nairobi highway came earlier than plans to expand the Nairobi-Mau Summit highway. Probably some of you are wondering what a falling weight deflectometer is. This is simply an instrument or a machine that is used to assess the structural integrity or the structural capacity of a road or pavement by measuring their bearing capacity, their load bearing capacity, and their load bearing capacity and deflection under weight. So you can see it in the video, in the image. That is what it looks like. The machine, before you construct a new road, or before you decide if a road is still in good condition, they normally use it to test the structural integrity of the road. So it has been seen driving along Nairobi-Mau Summit road. I think the contract is, so currently the contract has already been signed, so construction will begin any time from now. You can think of that, but you can be sure that in December, people coming from the western region, Western and Nyanza, will have a big problem, because with construction of a road and the kind of traffic that we see in December, wow, if you can afford to fly, kindly fly. It will be bad. I can assure you of that. It will be bad. If you can afford any other means of transport, take it. The Nairobi-Mau Summit Highway was first proposed in 2019. Actually, it was proposed earlier, but the first plan to implement it happened in 2019. So in 2019, that was when they became, they wanted to implement it. Things went down south. I don't know. By the time Uhuru Kenyatta government was leaving, they had signed a contract with some French contractor, but when Ruto's government came in, they decided to cancel the contract. You know, politics. Of course, each government wants to sign their own contracts. You know, when it comes to contracts like this, there is a lot of kickbacks involved, and so you know how things go in Kenya. So the government, of course, Ruto government didn't want to implement something that was going to benefit Ruto and his previous cronies and government. So they decided to cancel the contract. It was to begin around 2022, but it didn't begin. So it dragged on until this year. They've signed some contracts with the Chinese. So the initial design of the road was to build a dual carriageway from Nairobi to Mau Summit, of which the section from Nairobi to Rironi is already been done. There's also two other sections that have been done. I don't know whether they will redo them or they will leave them. The section crossing Nakuru city, of course, is a dual carriageway, and the Sachangwan section, they dual the Sachangwan section because of the numerous accidents that used to happen at that section. So they decided to dual it before. They had already dualed it just to reduce the accident, and it really worked. Nowadays, you no longer hear of several people dying on that stretch like it was before. So the road is supposed to have 3 interchanges, 3 pedestrian overpasses, and 3 underpasses. That is quite some infrastructure. So that is what is supposed. Like I said before, there was a falling weight deflectometer that was observed driving along the road. So I think they're still deciding whether they will completely demolish the existing road or they will build another road next to it. You know, that is what happens when they are doing a dual carriageway. They either demolish everything and start from scratch, or they retain the existing road and build another road next to it. But practically, as an engineer, I can tell you what will happen is some sections will be completely demolished. The sections that are failed beyond repair, those ones will be completely demolished. The other sections, they will leave it like that and just construct another road next to it. So they will also improve the A8 South. The A8 South is the road from Rironi through Mai-Mahiu to Naivasha. That is also an alternative route. If you are going from Nairobi to Naivasha, you can decide to come direct from Nairobi to Naivasha, or you can branch from Rironi through Mai-Mahiu, then Naivasha. And also it will be a good project for people traveling to South Nyanza, Bomet, Narok, because that is another road that is normally very congested, especially during the peak season. So they'll also improve that section. So the works, like I told you, they have practically begun. Of course, there is the survey work that is happening currently, mostly the design works that is happening, but the actual construction hasn't begun yet. It will begin anytime from now. We can expect it. So it is happening, guys. We are going to have a good road. I think it will be the longest dual carriageway in Kenya right now, probably in the region right now. Currently, the longest dual carriageway is the Nairobi-Mau Road, which is 153 kilometers. But Nairobi to Rironi will be 175 kilometers. Then when they do Nairobi to Mombasa, that will be 477 kilometers. It will become the longest dual carriageway. And because it is a continuous road to Mau Summit, then we'll be having about 720 kilometers of a continuous dual carriageway. That is quite something. And later on, when they do Mau Summit to Malaba, we'll be having about 923 kilometers of dual carriageway, continuous dual carriageway. That will be something, that will be the kind of road I would love to drive on, all the way from Mombasa to Marsabit. I don't know if there is such a road in Eastern Africa. No country has that kind of road currently. Another thing that will be part of the road is a wildlife crossing. I doubt there is a road in Kenya that has a proper wildlife crossing. I think this will be the first one, and it will be a tourist attraction of its own kind. I hope they do a very good wildlife crossing, the kind of wildlife that people can come into the country just to see. Because wildlife crossing are normally marvelous structures. They're expensive, but they are worth the investment. So they're also going to do it because wildlife conservancies, it passes through quite a number of wildlife conservancies, and it is normally easier to cross a two-lane highway for animals, but when you are talking about a dual carriageway with 4 lanes, it is quite tricky. So I think it will be good if they do those wildlife crossings. That is also part of the project. The project is a PPP, meaning it will be funded by either the public or the contractor. You can buy your own bonds into it, like what we have in Nairobi, the Nairobi Expressway. So it will be a PPP project. It will be funded by the private sector. It will have toll stations, of course. I don't know how expensive the toll stations will be. Remember, this road, one of the reasons it was delayed was also the toll stations, because from the beginning the road was supposed to be tolled. But then again, politics came into play. People are questioning how come the other road from Nairobi to Marwa that is going through to the central region is free to use, but the road going to the western region is to be tolled. So those kind of questions caused the project to delay. And they are valid questions, by the way, because it was President Uhuru Kenyatta who built it was President Mwai Kibaki who built the Thika Road. Initially, Thika Road was supposed to be tolled. Then Kibaki's people came and asked him, why are you tolling us? This road is going to your homeland. Why do you want your people to suffer? So it was changed to become a free-to-use highway. You can, if you drive along Thika Road, you can see some of the toll gates. They are abandoned. They are not in use because people complained, and it is now a free-to-use highway. Then Uhuru Kenyatta came and extended it from Kenol all the way to Marwa and later to Isiolo, and it's also free to use. So people are questioning, how come the president is going to toll this road that goes to Western Kenya, but the other road that goes to his homeland or passes through his communities, where his community lives, through the central region, is not going to be tolled? And that kind of politics delayed the construction of the Nairobi-Mau Summit highway. I think they are valid questions. I wouldn't want to be paying a lot of money going to my rural area, so it makes sense. There's also a planned viaduct through the Nakuru city. A viaduct is simply a raised road or railway. Like Nairobi Expressway is a viaduct. A part of it actually, from Airtel to just after Westlands, it's a viaduct. So the part of the plan is to construct a similar viaduct across Nakuru city, which makes sense because the road literally passes through Nakuru CBD, or just on the side of Nakuru CBD. So if you have such a highway passing through the CBD, it causes a lot of snarl-ups, especially during the peak hours. So it would make sense either you build a diversion, not really a diversion, a bypass. You build a bypass, you bypass the city, or you do a viaduct. If I was the one making the decision, I would rather we do a bypass, because a bypass will also add more infrastructure to other regions that do not have roads. But a viaduct, you're simply improving an existing road. But again, it's not my call to make. Oh, so now we go to Mombasa Road, the highway from Nairobi to Mombasa. It is dubbed Usahihi Highway or Usahihi Expressway. It's Usahihi Expressway Limited. It is dubbed Usahihi Expressway Limited. It is also a PPP project, which means it will be tolled. The road was at some point almost on the verge of happening. It was around, I think, 2017 thereabout, I can't remember very well, by the American company Bechtel. Bechtel had won the contract to construct the road as a PPP project, and so it was supposed to raise funds, construct it, then toll it. Somewhere down the line, I don't know what happened, because they had even started advertising jobs for people to apply. Something happened along the way, it didn't happen. So today, the project is also on. The contract has been handed to Eastern Capital, also an American company. Bechtel was also an American company. So Eastern Capital is raising funds to do the Usahihi Expressway. The road currently, sections of the road have already been done from Nairobi to Chumvi or Machakos Junction is already a dual carriageway. Then from Mombasa to Mariakani, actually a section of Kwajumvi, a section of the road from Kwajumvu to Mariakani is under construction as we speak. So we can say also the project is in the pipeline. They are still raising funds. It was supposed to start next year, 2026. I don't know how efficient they will work on it. I don't know if it will happen, but that is the information we have as of now. It's much longer than the Nairobi to Mau Summit road, so it will require more capital. But I don't think it has many interchanges, because I don't see major junctions on that road. Most of the junctions are minor ones, because from Machakos Junction to Mariakani, there isn't a major junction. Maybe the biggest junction between is the Emali Junction, which is not even, I think they put a minor interchange there to connect with the Loitoktok, but that road, it doesn't have a lot of traffic. But the road has less interchanges than the one from Nairobi to Mau Summit. Mombasa Road is a very important road. It connects Kenya. It connects the rest of Kenya to the port of Mombasa. And I strongly think the road was delayed because of the SGR. Remember, the SGR was constructed using loans from China, and they had to recover those loans and pay. So having a road like Mombasa Road would greatly reduce the traffic that will use the standard gauge railway. So I think there was also a political side of it that prevented the road from taking off as fast as it should have. So once these two roads are constructed, the economy of Kenya will really blow up, because the whole section from Mombasa to Malaba is the single most important road in Kenya right now, and one could argue it is the single most important road in the region, because it has the most traffic. So I think it will also, it won't only benefit Kenya, but it will benefit the whole region at large. So to you, the viewers, the question is, which of the two roads, which of the two sections of the same road is actually the same road? Which of the two sections of the same road are you really looking forward to? And which one do you think is the most important and the most urgent? Let me have some of your comments in the comment section, and we see.